why I feel in the face of all the problems in the world impotent, and why I somehow cannot manage to transform I. Now here we get to the real problem, because we're always telling each other that we should be different. Now I'm not going to tell you that tonight. Why not? Because I know you can't. Nor can I. That may sound depressing, but I'll show you it isn't. It's very hard. But everybody, you see, who is at all sensitive and awake to their own problems and human problems is trying to change himself. We know we can't change the world unless we change ourselves. So when we are aware of the ego I, we are aware of this chronic tension inside ourselves. And that's not us. It's a futile tension. So when we get the illusion, the image of ourselves, married to a futile tension, you've got an illusion married to a futility. And then you wonder why I can't do anything.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's live stream. I'm babysitting a position that I've just entered a few minutes back. So that's what we're doing today. We're live trading. Of course, I will still give a Bitcoin analysis. But this stream's probably going to be a few hours long. Right now, we are shorting Bitcoin from this candle. From the looks of it, we caught the exact top, and let's talk about why, okay? Oh, goodness. And we just had the activation of the mean reversion condition, too. This is, I stand to make over 22% on my portfolio from this trade alone. And the profit ratio here is, let's figure it out, 0.2. It's over 15 to 1. So, I'm sitting cozy with this position. Fingers are crossed. All things considered, this should take, let's see how many hours. 4 hours to complete, I'd say. Yeah, it's going to be a while, but it's a good thing to watch. Especially because I need to constantly adjust my stop loss based on the 3.2 standard deviation, so we'll see how it plays out. Apparently I popped out 2 versions of chat, so let's get rid of this one. Blaze, sure. I'll take a look at that for you, Curva. And I am just going to leave this chart template as is, because it is currently set to all the right settings. Okay. So we can also talk about this position right here for a second. Right. We have the activation of the mean reversion condition, which implies that we need to retrace down to this mean, and tagging the 3.2 of the 1/10 standard deviation gives us entry into that position. So I might stop out a few times because it can still run up like so before fulling or completing the mean reversion. So my options are either repeatedly stopping out, which is going to eat me alive in fees, or using the looser stop loss. So I just want to see how this plays. I'm going to set some soft alerts right now, just so we know if we're tagging those previous values. Okay, because we should be making lower lows here pretty quickly. Fingers crossed. Yeah, it's about $15 of profit so far. I paid $5 in fees, so I market entered the position because I wasn't ready, because I had just logged in when I saw the wick coming up. Okay. Drawings panel toggled to the main menu. Ooh, what does that mean? I'm not seeing it. Yeah, this looks exactly the same. That's fine. So, oh, we just jumped back up, eh? As long as the condition's active, I'm fine. One thing we do need to be concerned about is trend continuation, but resistance seems to be holding for the moment. Right, because this is technically a respected pivot. We were just grabbing the what could be considered a decent entry into the mean reversion condition if it triggers, right? So this is a little bit higher risk. Okay, I'm going to give my thoughts on Bitcoin now. And we're just going to set this back to default values. All right, let's get to it. Okay, I'm going to change the pair so I know which one I'm recording. Okay, cool. I totally clicked on the wrong one. So, concerning Bitcoin today, we do have a bit of a goofy chart. However, that can be expected during rather strong compressionary periods. So, let's talk about this from the top down, shall we? First and foremost, we do have our active mean reversion condition, which we can point out right here using the 120 period. Okay. Beautiful. So, re-entry of this band, wow, that's really well respected, would result in reversion down to this mean. And currently at this time, mean reversion is very well respected. Right. As long as we stay above the band, we will sustain in what is technically an upward trend. But the moment we cross inside, price will revert fully to the mean, and that can either happen through a lateral move of sideways compression as the mean travels up to meet price, or price can travel down to meet the mean. In each scenario, we would still need to see the compression of this band around price, very similarly to how we saw it happen over here, right? In this scenario, our longest overexpanded period was 250. Awesome. And when we actually, wow, this mean reversion condition happened through an aggressive trend from looking at it. Right, but as soon as this value went below the 0.7 value, it allowed price to once again trend outside of the band, which is exactly what happened. At this time, we really do need to see the compression of this longest overexpanding period, which should take several months, so it is reasonable to believe we won't see any significant higher highs for at least 2 or 3 months. And that does tie into how the previous crash pattern played out. Right, if we take a look at the weekly chart and pull ourselves back over here, it's pretty apparent that after our initial markup after the market bottom, while there was significant drawdown, it did end up in a very compressed range before the next breakout and uptrend. So, previously that compressionary period lasted 200 days, just to put this in perspective. Believing that Bitcoin is going to diverge from that significantly is a little ridiculous. It might be shorter, simply because this previous crash pattern's compressionary bottom period, accumulation period, if you will, was significantly shorter than the prior, which does imply... Actually, I don't want to make any implications on that. All I know is that price is liable to compress in this range. However, I do want to point out that there is still significant downside in when I say compression, as defined by our longest overexpanded period on the daily, because there is still significant downside for that compression to occur. So if we actually do cross those bearish mean reversion pivots, I am very willing and ready to short. I would just like to see those pivots cross before I actually attempt anything. Okay, so let's talk about the shorter time frames. On the 4-hour chart, we did enter our longer-term mean reversion position, which was based on the 225 period, right? Because that was this longest overexpanded period here, right? So when we entered this band at this location, and we had our downward CCI roll at this location right there, that was our short entry for reversion into this mean. Price has bounced exactly off of this mean. All that means now is we will compress as defined by this range. And what's particularly aesthetic about this chart is that the mean and the mean inversion pivot on the daily chart were one and the same, which made it, a rather reliable bounce pivot. I didn't take that, actually I did take that play, but it was due to a bullish mean inversion on the 5-minute chart, which did treat me rather nicely. Yeah, I managed to catch along right here on this candle for the bounce, and I closed it way too early on around this candle. However, I was just looking for the short-term mean reversion. I didn't expect full reversal, and that's on me. So I made 20% instead of 80%, really, and that's acceptable, right? Because now we actually have the same kind of signal happening over here. Right, whereas we had this bullish mean reversion at this location, right now we're having a bearish mean reversion at this location. So I am in a heavily leveraged position, betting against Bitcoin at this very moment. Retest previous lows is viable, simply because it is a confluence of pivots. So at the bare minimum, we will see reversion to... let's actually define it for you folks. Set to 250. Yeah, that's about right, actually. So right around here is where we should expect the mean inversion to. So currently my take profit target is around 780. And I am more liable to set up a trailing stop at that location because lower lows are a viable option. And it would be tremendously interesting if we actually break that mean reversion pivot here, because any kind of lower low, well, I'm 10x in a macro level position. That would be very beneficial, and I would have the chance of doubling my leverage portfolio. Though one can always dream. At this current time, I am just going to use very good risk management. Currently, my stop loss is just a higher high on that 3.2 standard deviation of the 1/10 of the longest over expanded period, which is around right there. So, it's a very safe position. Yep. Just looking at that mean reversion first. As far as, say, maybe the 1 hour goes, we do have another good signal here. We did tag the 3.2 standard deviation, which at least implies short-term lateral moves. And because we have crossed the bearish mean reversion pivot, retracement is likely. Okay? So, all in all, a pretty comfortable chart today. Pretty easy to analyze, a lot of good signals. So, play it safe or play it aggressive, that's up to you. You folks have a beautiful day over at TradingView. Very nice, guys. I don't like this song anymore. We're taking it off the list. It's kind of sad how quickly you can burn through ambient songs. Get your comments in for what coins you'd like me to analyze, please. I'd be happy to take a look. Copy link. I'm just going to drop this in chat for all these people. Come watch. Very nice. Live stream questions. All right. Can you go over what to look for when looking at wave PM crosses? I did that once before, and the video ended up being 2.5 hours. It's not something I can briefly get into. I'll put it like that. And it's usually information I charge for. Of course, there are Mark Whistler's books if you want to look at how he did it in the past. Lekash says, YouTube analysis of the movements of alts the last time we compressed after the initial breakout after the bear market would be a good stream idea. That's interesting. Yeah, I could do that for you. How did alts behave? Okay, well, let's use a multi-chart template. Let's just clean it up a bit and do 4 charts. Okay? So, we're just going to do FBTC. I think Poloni X has the longest chart history. So we're just going to pop these all in the daily. What are the other big market caps? XRP, TC, delete. Take that to the daily. Of course, we're just going to keep Bitcoin on this one. And we'll do BLX just so we get the longest history. And of course, on this bad boy, what should we look at? Not TRX, that's super new. Litecoin. This is a good idea. So to begin with, we're just going to minimize our bottom indicators. And we want to take a look at this period here. So the beginning of 2016, late 2015. Okay, and I have these charts to sync time as well. So that should be pretty enlightening. Holy hell. There are heavy implications of alt season, I'll tell ya. Okay, so... yeah, I may have spoken preemptively. Let's take a closer look. I'm just going to draw a vertical line on the initial run-up, okay? No. There's not as much confluence as I expected. Actually, let's define these as a range, just for the compressionary period, okay? So it's going to be from there to there, and from here to here. So, these ranges we just defined are the compressionary period that we were in the previous crash pattern and that we're in now. And I'm going to be honest, there's not as much confluence as one would expect. So what is interesting is that it has consistently been the bottom for these coins, at least short term. What's interesting, at least on Litecoin, is you can see that significant divergence here. But as soon as price continues down, or I'm sorry, as soon as price continues up on Bitcoin, Litecoin does continue down. And then this final compressionary period we see here, well, actually, there's that same divergence again. And Litecoin actually doesn't do very well until you're deep in the bull run. Oh my. Okay, looks like I need to stop out of this position. At least we're getting close to it. We're still tagging that 3.2. Actually, no, we're not. It's much higher than it used to be. Okay. So I might need to close this in a loss. I am going to keep a close eye on the order book here. Order book looks fine for the moment. I am going to wait for a candle close above this target. Hey guys, go ahead and ask me some comments, would you? Be happy to hear what you have to say. It's tempting to enter more of a short here, but we don't have the same entry signal as we used to. Because our entry signal is actually still an additional 2.6% away, so that's 2.5% drawdown if I wanted to go deeper into the position. Though from the looks of it, the mean reversion condition is still active. We're just seeing high price volatility on that pivot. Any kind of retest of the previous low would be bearish confirmation, and the fact that we're having trouble making a higher high is a good sign. Okay, let's set another alert for a higher high. Probably going to go aggressive on that stop loss after all. I want to minimize risk here. So we are going to put a 792, I'd say. 7972, excuse me. 7.2. That'll give you a buy stop, and we're gonna have a trigger on mark price to account for volatility on BitMEX. Okay. .1% away for a stop loss. That's troublesome, but we are 10x. We will attempt a secondary entry. Don't look at BitMEX order book, please. Hey now. It's very satisfying. Okay. Back to talking about this chart here. The only time it was really an alt season was for Ethereum. Yeah. So, actually, it would be interesting to see Ethereum pop off here. 15,000%. 1,500, excuse me. XRP didn't pop off the previous time, but it did exit the downtrend and at least enter a short-term accumulation period. I mean, there was a 100% drop, so not really that we can complain, right? Honestly, this chart is just so wonderfully cyclical. I am very much looking for a 100% gain here. So, I'm still long in XRP. %20 downside is so appealing, though. We just go 100x and try to triple our portfolio. What do you say, guys? 100x? It's a pretty bad idea. I am liable to actually increase position size if we do tag this top band here, though. Yeah, BitMEX order book is fake. I'll agree with you there. And how about we set this to our... Let's find the log expo on the 1 minute chart, eh? I don't think it's going to register. It won't. Okay, because it just ended up being maxed out. I'm gonna grab some water. Or some kava, because I plan on shooting for like 4 or 5 hours, so I'm just gonna try to stay comfy. This might retrace to the mean. BCPT. You know what, man? I took profit on BCPT after the run up there, but it was around 8,000. I actually took profit where your take profit is. Kind of funny. I love this song. You guys should listen to it with me. Pow. Yeah, you can click that link and listen to the songs I'm listening to. Man, 3.2 standard deviation of the 1/10 of the locks is just kind of OP. This, as far as like actually defining range pivots. You know, my plan is to make 20% a day on my portfolio for 2 months, and then I'll be a millionaire, so. Yeah, I made 20% of my portfolio 2 days ago. I didn't trade yesterday, and then here we are trying to make another 20% on one trade. And dude, the thing about this strategy is with my new entry method, the drawdowns are just super small. Like, I pay more in fees exiting the position than I do from, like, the actual downside of the position. Man, I really want XRP to run. And XLM. I mean, they're kind of just hand in hand. Let's actually compare them. Why not? That's weird. Yeah, I have a bookmark in my bookmark tabs of XLM selling at like just a couple sats. Oh, this looks interesting. I'll save it for later. And then the bookmark still saves the price from that time. All right. Let's hit enter. Except it's on Coinbase. XRP got this. Wait, it's got. I don't remember that. Okay, I don't care. XLM, BTC. Let's do like. I figured. Awesome. Is it available on TradingView and is it free? What are you talking about, man? The indicators? No, we charge like $12 a month for the cheap version. Oh, are you watching the stream? I should ask. If so, then I'll actually answer, but... I just want bearish confirmation, man. It's kind of funny that all it takes to cover the cost of my fees is a 0.1% move. Assuming 10x. Although, you know, I need to stop market entering. It's just... when you're on the 1 minute chart, it can be difficult justifying it, but you're... okay. When you market enter, you imply that you're so confident about your position that price won't even move 1 pip against you. And unless you're market entering a wick like I did, then don't market enter. Especially on higher time frames, my god. Like, would you use a 0.001% stop loss? Probably not. Why? Because it's going to get triggered. So why would you not just place a limit order 0.001% away from current price? Okay. Let's listen to some audio machine. Watch some anime music videos while we wait. Or I could play some Enter the Gungeon. It's up to you guys. Yeah, I think I like Two Steps from Hell more than Audio Machine. Does make a lot of music though. I super like making that cinematic music. Now, I can actually like play the piano for you guys while we wait. That would be fun. Or guitar. Sure, why not? Let's do it. Never mind. Nobody's commenting today. Anybody, please, leave a comment. Tell me what you need. Any test of the previous low is going to be super bearish. Fingers crossed. I'm gonna be right back, folks. Sitting cozy. Any kind of lower low here is going to break it, and I'll make $100 at least. Probably goes to 150 today. I mean, you don't need a very large account to make a living, right? A lot of my funds are on Binance right now, like a vast majority of my funds, but I only need this small portion to, you know, pay my bills every day. Although, I've stopped withdrawing from BitMEX, and I'm just going to try to grow it exponentially for the next few months. Because I'm going to go to Thailand, and I want to save like maybe 10, 15 grand before I do so. Yeah, just from trading, that is. Man, that thumbnail takes forever to update. I need to like update it the day before. Oh, hey. John Harris, can you remind me who you are in the Discord channel? I don't remember. There's just so many people. I know you're here every day, so I appreciate you tuning in, but... I wanted XRP, but you covered. Hey, man. Thank you for moderating the chat today. It is a pleasure to have you. Sure, I'm gonna listen to that song. What did you want me to listen to? Pretty sure you're Longhorn Love, right? Sure, 5-minute band set to 250. Yeah, it is. I'll show you my settings right now so you guys can trade along with me. Right, so these settings here are going to do a pretty good job. I'm just using the extreme values of the 1/10 and the LOXP itself. So, any kind of trend continuation would stop here, so that would be our secondary short entry. And any kind of short-term entry would be on this band itself. Which, to this point, has been very effective. And honestly, I think I'm going to move my stop loss up to 8,000, just above the 3.2. Or at least if I do stop out, I'm going to just re-enter the position here. And then you might ask, what's the point? Fees. And, well, minimizing risk on heavy leverage is pretty difficult, so I'm just willing to eat the fees and then make it all back when the trade actually goes my way. QSD daily CCI roll-up on a 4-hour mean reversion isn't complete. It's kind of a cool question, man. Let's check it out. Okay, you know, this is a nice chart, I'll be honest. Never mind, not as nice as I remember it being. Okay, you're talking about a CCI roll for trend continuation. But you have no significant weighting of your periods. Okay, so it's not a signal. Wave PM was in a state of expansion, but it was downward expansion, and we saw the bullish mean inversion. And now on, say, like the 4-hour, a lot of chop, man. Oh God! Did my stop market trigger? It did. Okay. Woo! All right. We're gonna play another short entry at 7987. Or here. Fuck. Ah, FOMO! I think it's worth it. Hold on. Alright, I need that self-control here. I need to wait until the 3.2 is actually touched. So we're just going to put a limit at 7993. Stock market at 7 or 8,000, 0 and 18. Okay, and now we need to start worrying about trend continuation. There's no significant upward expansion. Let's try the 1 minute. 1 second. There is true net expansion, which will imply a short-term mean reversion. Oh, fuck. Come on, my boy. Okay, it saves us on fees. Stop loss is kind of aggressive at the moment, though. Should be good. Right, 3.2 standard deviation tags are super reliable. Yeah. Okay, we stopped out, got a secondary entry at the cost of $30. Oh, that's fine. Fees, man, I'll tell you. Oh my god, are we making a higher high? That'll be fun. We might be getting trend continuation. Mean reversion condition might have not been active, eh? Oh, we're gonna step out of this. Okay, trend continuation. Guess I was wrong, eh? There she goes. Oh, mark price. I had this triggered on mark price. And that, my friends, is why you use mark price as your stop trigger. There's a good hour and 10 minutes. Must prune the chat. Very nice. Okay. We're gonna make Legend Random Moderator. He's super touchy, but you know what? Let's do it. Yeah, it did stop out. But we're back in it. Oh man, I love this song. This is such a good song. Orientations Part 2. There's a Part 1? Oh my god. I never noticed this. Oh, there's 3 of them! Oh, dude, it's gonna be a good day. I'm gonna put some ice in my water bottle. Dude, this is why you use market stops. Triggering on mark price over over last price. Okay? Mark price is gonna save your ass time and time again, simply because BitMEX is over leveraged. Like I am. Woohoo! Alright, let's see if we get rejection here. And let's check the mean reversion pivot on the 1 minute chart too, because that's relevant information. Okay. XBT USD. Because we have a new plume of mass generated based on this recent overexpansion, so we could actually go heavier on the short once we see what that looks like. Okay, currently it's defined by the 60 period. Which, yeah, that's miles away. We're probably going to stop out of this position again, that's fine. Time will tell. Might be getting trend continuation here. Volume looks good. It's not a single candle. We're actually getting a sustained move. Yeah, there it is. Alright, that's quite the loss today. Alright, let's figure out how much we should down the portfolio. Oh, should have waited for the red candle close on that 3.2 standard deviation tag. And while I implied the activation of the mean reversion condition, I should have waited till it actually activated. That's on me. And it looks like bullish expansion, so 1 minute chart is implied bullish as well. Okay, yep. Yeah, we can't do anything with this now. This might be trend continuation. It's hard to tell. So we respected that longest overexpanded pivot really well. However, we will be provided with another short entry. It's just going to take like a half hour for it to form. So, see this here? Actually, that pivot's already changed. I'm actually going to use, hopefully ACAT timeout will register on this. And I'll use the 600 max just because I want to read this previously overexpanded period here. So our new short entry is going to be re-entry of this band, but we need it to develop more. Because this plume of mass is still technically in a state of expansion, which does imply long, but we don't have entry into this signal. Buying the sustained volume is good, so I'm going to stay away from it for the moment. I drew out my portfolio about 4% today. It was 20% 2 days ago, so I'm pretty happy with a 4-to-1 profit ratio. On paper, the profit ratios are really good, like 10-to-1, but once you actually get through fees and trying to exit at market price, things get pretty messy. Sean Harris. You know what, man? It was a good short. We're still running on that maxed out previous period, though. And how do I turn on the timeout, dude? Yeah, you caught that perfectly, and then this one just plowed right through, so we'll do what we can. Deny any connection. End of the Gungeon doesn't need internet. And I'm going to minimize this so it's only on half the screen. Perfect. So I think we're just going to manually define the lock spear, because we still don't have a short entry signal. Let's take a look at the 160. Oh, that's frustrating. Okay, well, we're just going to get another entry on the 3.2 standard deviation tag. We'll wait for it. Yeah, we're right on top of that pivot, and I don't feel like trading it until we actually get the mean reversion active. Chamber 5. Oh, we're actually doing an older run here. I'm going to get a little bit bigger, because I can't see it. There we go. Let's actually do a new run. Quick restart. No, I think I have a modified run going. We're below my short entry price, and that's slightly frustrating, but I will make do. Because, you know, we're still waiting on the actual activation of the condition. Like an actual activation of the condition. And the 3.2 standard deviation tag worked, but, you know, not before 3 candle closes, which was different than the previous 2 times. In case you have nothing to do, can you hold a 5+ minute speech about profit ratio versus win rate and how taking partial profit or stopping out too early might skew it, and how you approach it personally? It's heavily dependent on your strategy. I'll say that to start out. Being confident on your position requires a lot of experience. And the one thing about my strategy is my profit ratio slowly degrades. It's just the nature of mean reversion conditions. With compressionary periods, you get a lot of weird signals in the fact that the slope of probability volatility slowly diminishes your profit ratio because, well, your stop loss gets higher, but your take profit gets higher as well in terms of a short, and of course the opposite for a long position. So my profit ratios usually start around 4-to-1 or 10-to-1, depending on the trade, and they'll degrade to sometimes even less than 1-to-1. Potion of Gun Friendship, I will accept. That's strictly for mean reversion conditions, though. Depending on the trade type, it's really going to vary. Like comprehensive net expansion trades, I'm going to use super aggressive stop losses, like maybe 15%, simply because it's just such a strong signal. However, it does need to be on a good time frame for me to actually accept that kind of trade. But really, at the end of the day, what I say is never risk more than a 1% drawdown of your entire portfolio on any position. So let's say you are using a position that's 100% of your portfolio size, which you probably shouldn't be doing, let's be honest. What that means is you could use a 1% stop loss. Okay, now let's say you're using a position that's a quarter of your portfolio. Right, just logically, that means you can use a 4% stop loss, right? Because you're using a fourth of the position size, so you can use 4 times as large as the stop loss. If you're using 12% of your portfolio, you can use an 8% stop loss, and so on. So really, the larger your position size, the better profit ratio you need to have. So that's the best advice I can give about actual profit ratios. Does the Potion of Gun Friendship not work on the sword? Ah, fuck. I just ruined my run. I didn't get a gun, and that means I have to barrel roll into them until they die, which is difficult to say the least. Doable, but it means I don't get the bonus heart from the first stage. Okay, let's see what happens. The Crestfaller, that's not good. Okay. Apparently I already have a synergy on it. Is it with the Gun Friendship? I don't know. I don't have 2 keys. Dominic says, yeah, I remember you writing profit ratio over win rate in general, so you'd rather stop out of a trade that has been winning already than taking profit too early. Always let the market take you out. It's always worth it. Instead of taking profit yourself, just set up a trailing stop loss. It's going to outperform whatever you do every time. Okay, I have no keys. I guess we'll buy a key. We can't do the secret floor this round, but that's fine. I'm just kind of setting up myself for failure. I said that wrong. Okay. Yeah, Bitcoin is getting that bearish confirmation, but I'll probably enter a low leverage short when we actually enter the condition. And then I'll fill up the position a little bit more when we get the proper signal. Very nice. Let's go do the mini boss. At the USD. Yeah, man. This bearish confirmation is kind of annoying me. Because price is currently at where our initial stop loss was. So if we do enter this band, I am going to enter a lower leverage short. And we also stopped out exactly at the top, which is a nuisance, but... Because what was our secondary position entry? Right here? Yeah. Yeah, I stopped out by $1. That's a nuisance. Actually, did we get that bearish? We did. We just did. Hold on. That's 160 on here on the 1 minute. So it's going to set this as 16. Yeah. So we actually have some pretty good up and coming signals here. Just got to wait for it. Sure, when we see that CCI roll down, I am going to try a secondary short entry. There we go. And I'm going to restart because I don't like this run. Yeah, I'm a quitter. There we go. That's better. Yeah, but it's too wide. Hold on. Okay, bearish confirmation continues. What a nuisance. Let's enter $2,000 short. We're going to do a limit order because I don't feel like paying any more fees for the day. 2,000, set on 7675. 7976, excuse me. 7977, set by long. Did I do it? That should have worked. Oh. I'm an idiot. There we go. Might drag that up just a touch, just for safety's sake. That is bearish mean reversion activation. Price could, in theory, retrace up to $8,005, so that's why lower leverage for now. Could probably speedrun this game if I wanted to. Nope, I just ruined the run. Let go. All right, order filled. There's the boss. You know, I'm just not really in the mood to learn the generation patterns. That sounds like a lot of work. All according to plan. Another brown chest. Okay, that ruins the run. Yeah, I know, I'm picky. Just, if you don't get a gun from the first chest, you're kind of screwed. Feel free to ask any questions you want, folks. Trash can, okay. RNGesus is poor to me today. We're gonna do the paradox. Actually, let's check something. Speed up. Okay, I'll take it. Paradox starts with 2 random items. I got a D tier weapon and speed up, so probably would normally reroll, but who cares? Let go. Okay. Really had an ideal short entry there. It's slightly upsetting. Market's really green today. I'm excited to see if we can get a significant bearish break. Let's think about what this drawdown's going to be. 0.5% for a stop loss on $2,000. Eh. That's fine. Yeah, we're just tugging along right on top of it. which is kind of a nuisance. Oh my god. Retesting previous highs, are we? Well, let's set a stop, because let's lose another $5 on this and no more. 8024. That'll do. Let's see how this plays out. Got the key. Just a bit of patience is in order. Well, good thing we didn't go 100x. I have half a heart. Man, I need to play better. Chance bullets. That's pretty unlucky. Alright, it looks like I'm forced to open the secondary chest. For the Huntsman, I accept. Huntsman's pretty good. I mean, it's a cursed weapon, so they're usually higher than the tier they're listed. Oof. A good boss on a good formation. This is pretty lucky. I should be able to clear this with no damage. Bitcoin is dropping just a touch. That's good news. And the kind of hard part about this is we don't know if it's upward expansion yet or if the mean reversion condition's still active. So we have to be really careful. Which is consequently the lower position side. Oh, okay. That was close. God. RNG is not kind to me today. In both crypto and video games. It's fine, we'll just have to replace it with skill. Barrel of fish, another shitty weapon. No keys. Okay, guess we're going down. That's technically... Hold on. This here is technically a short entry. If you're into that kind of thing. Let's put another $500 on the table. Okay, there it goes. Never mind. Well, I'm sure we'll get another entry signal, and we're currently short anyway, so we'll stay buckled up. Barrel of fish. Barrel of fish. It shoots fish, my friends. Actually, I'm okay with this. This is acceptable. Ooh, okay. Jesus. I am rusty. Having OBS running doesn't help all that much either, because that takes up like 80% of my CPU. Alright, if we actually get a bearish confirmation here, I will be okay. The problem is we're going to have a looser stop loss this time, because our standard deviations are pretty wide on the micro time frames. Nope. Oh, God. A free chest. The space laser. Thank God for trash. No bearish confirmation. Oh, I do have the chance bullets, though. I remember now. Right, that has a chance to fire a bullet from any of my other guns on random. Which is pseudo-useful, I guess. You know, in spring here, instead of getting cherry petals falling on the ground, we get these allergy-ridden cotton fluffs that just sweep the sky and sheets of pollen. Colorado's a beautiful place, but I would consider that a downside. Okay, I can afford virtually nothing other than this key. And I should have saved my money for the M16. Okay, well, that was pretty disappointing. Yeah, I have an inconsistent frame rate. Lovely. Let's do the boss with half a heart, shall we? Who cares? Decoy. And the hardest boss for this floor. I accept. I have no blanks. Oh my god. It's time to get good. Okay, never mind. I lied. Ooh, that's kind of a good chart curve. Yeah, putting a buy order at 2,000. 200, excuse me. 50% off discount on Ketum. Dude, that's a good idea. I might do that. Bearish mean inversion condition active on Bitcoin, but I don't know how far it's going to go. Let's do it again. It gave me the 38 special again. Oh my god. With... Ugh, okay. We're just gonna re-roll until I'm lucky. The water gun. And love bullets. Jesus. The Derringer. Oh my god. Okay, a usable gun and bouncy bullets. I accept. Let's do it. You just gotta brute force your RNG sometimes. It's the secret to being a good trader. And we got a key in the first room. Oh my god. This run is actually playable. I mean, if I was good enough, everyone would be playable, but it's besides the point. Do the boss. I'm going to do a full clear before the boss. Yeah, we have that nice little short-term bearish condition active on Bitcoin. No hard signals on it yet. And some kind of confirmation on the 5-minute chart would be better. Oh, Cog of Battle, my god. Okay, so if I do a perfect reload, I get a 75% damage boost, and that's huge for a C-tier weapon, or C-tier item, excuse me. Too bad I'm trash at this game. Can actually do the secret floor, so we're gonna do that. Got ourselves a key. Let's activate it. Gotta hit the secret button behind the fireplace. You know, the more I look at this, we actually have a bearish mean reversion condition right on top of a signal for a bearish mean reversion condition, and that's kind of appealing. I already put like another 500 on there, didn't I? I did not. You know, we're still right on top of that mean reversion pivot. It's kind of frustrating. Oh. Cog of Battle and Lucky Trigger Finger. So all my guns now fire as fast as I can pull the trigger, which is pretty huge. It makes even the worst guns good. Debatably. You know, those bullets that spin have a lower frame rate than the rest of the bullets, and it's kind of a nuisance. Okay, looks like we're getting another candle close inside the pivot. We can't do much else than wait for it. Okay, we're gonna use the gun launcher. Trade 2 guns for 1 gun. Mostly because my 2 guns are out of ammo, so. Guns processed. Ooh, shit. That's the dueling laser. We're screwed. Oh, okay. So, it's an insta-kill weapon, but you can only fire it once, like, every minute. That's not very useful. And we just got a Ring of Fire resistance, which is completely useless to me. I just ruined the run. Alright, we had good RNG going, and now it's over. Alright, as long as I can land my cog of battle and just stop being bad, there's still a vague chance. It's not as good as it used to be. I have both attack speed and damage bonuses, so it's possible. And, hold on. We're getting our bearish confirmation, but my position size is way too small to take advantage of this. Okay, so let's wait for the lower low and then just try to get the CCI roll down. Who the hell gets liquidated here? Who goes leveraged long? Jesus. Well, I'm down a half hour again, so... I'm bad. I'm bad. Oh, it looks like I was right. God damn it. You know, when you go aggressive, you gotta stay aggressive. So that's totally our bearish confirmation. We're in the bearish mean aversion condition now. The 3.2 standard deviation tag did work. I just screwed up the entry. Okay. Oh, man! Like, and my current position size at best is going to cover the fees from the last trade. So... let's just try to look for our new short entry, shall we? Alright, well, 3.2 standard deviation tag, let's just wait for it. Because now we have a confirmed activation of the condition. So we need either the CCI roll down or the tag. I'm willing to wait for both. Okay, and I'm going to set alarms. Jesus, it's still going. I need to be looser on my stop losses, I think. So we got our bearish mean aversion. So our position size is a quarter of what it should be. Okay. Well, we made $10. $10. Curvo, it's 80 times 3. You can just do the same thing on the 5-minute chart, mate. At a higher resolution. Okay. Let's see, what are we looking for here? Yeah, we're gonna do a short-term reversal. And that's good, because I'm looking for more re-entry signals here. I'm hungry. I'm just gonna leave this running, and I'm gonna grab some food. Jesus. What a trade. So, our re-entry signals are really far away right now. Eventually, they will compress down towards price. That's going to take some time. So, nothing's really going to happen for like 4 hours. Actually, Yeah, that's right. So I'm going to be done for the day. At least for now. I might go live later when I'm trading him, but I'm actually going to wait until I see what happens here. Okay? I'll see y'all folks later.